For many music lovers this year was the death of Tupac Shakur, which seems so unnecessary and was so obviously totally unexpected. How did it affect you? How do you think it's affected kids?
Well, personally, it affected me in a dramatic way because the night that it was announced that he passed away, Angie Martinez on Hot 97, she was, pretty much dealing with every step of the way as it was going down, and we were at Nassau Coliseum performing with Nas, and Ed Lover from Hot 97 came over to Nas and announced it in the middle of his performance, and Nas had a moment of silence at the show, and there was about 15,000 people there, and you started hearing the screams, you started hearing the crying,
wow.
You started hearing the emotional states happening right at the concert, and it was just crazy because just that whole moment just froze. But, besides, just that whole surprise of that happening, I think for the hip-hop community, it was just another experience for us to look at and really take a closer look at how important life is and how important it is for us to carefully put our thought into what we got to do and not take as much things for granted. And for the fans even to see that despite you label us superstars, we still encounter the same situations that you encounter, and we're all, still normal people. And on
we spoke to Tupac many times over the course of his career. Here now from an interview done 2 years ago are his thoughts on how growing up without a father affected his life as a man.
Well, how did your relationship or lack of a relationship with your father influence who you are today?
Because I didn't have a father, I thrived for the family, you know what I'm saying? So that's what made me be able to do this work. That's what makes me be able to accept all black people as my family. That's part of my downfall. But because I didn't have a father, it makes me cold and bitter. Not just as the excuse. I know people are tired of hearing, oh, you have a father, we had a rough life. But, you have to be logical, you know what I'm saying? The reason I didn't have a father, it's not like I'm saying, okay, now sympathize with me. I'm saying, remember that I'm telling you I did not have a father. So when you go, what kind of kid is that? What kind of morals do we got? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I was raised by a Black Panther, and out of jail, I was raised on, by a lot of street people. So, of course, my values are real street-orientated. But that doesn't mean that I don't have any values or I don't have any morals. You know what I'm saying? It's just that my morals are applied to the people who I'm around.
If you had a father figure growing up, how would you be different? Would you be different right now?
I think I'd probably be a lawyer somewhere, because I wouldn't have hung out. I wouldn't have looked for that father figure. And I wouldn't have learned all this treacherous street game that now I can't forget.
Thank God we didn't get another lawyer out of that. You're someone who's not intimately involved in the hip-hop community. How do you perceive someone like Tupac Shakur, who's a pop star, among other things, but as a musician?
Well, I just refuse to judge him based on what I've seen because I don't know the man. I really believe you can't judge people by what their contributions are in their work and stuff like that. I think he did the best he could with where he was, and who he was, and I think what he did represents something that's real. And I think I think it's a tragedy, and I really wish I didn't. Before I'm going to decide what I think about Tupac Shakur, I'd get to know him, but I think his music was great.
Now, Daria, do you think that maybe Tupac was somewhere along the line getting some bad advice from anybody anywhere? Did you get that impression?
Well, definitely, but I think I do believe he was strong enough and intelligent enough to at some point have some self-determination. Like he was saying, I'm not trying to judge him per se, but I did actually, know Tupac. And, for me, he mirrored the same kind of behavior and attitudes, that are in a lot of young black men inside, America, as far as low income and the harder, areas of the country. And I just think what the death meant, as far as being important to the larger society is just that we need to understand there's a large segment of the community, people like myself, young black men who have a different set of morals, a different code of ethics because of their upbringing. And this needs to be addressed and paid attention to, or else, these people will become pop stars, enter your homes, and perhaps change your reality, as we change our own reality, for good or bad.
Now, Tupac, before he died, was having a big thing going on with Notorious B.I.G. and his wife Faith, and it was pretty ugly. Karen, what do you make of the whole gangster rap take on women? And